shop. This one is Saturday. I think I'm gonna work on the Nova today. Go ahead and put the water in it. Crank it up. Check the valves. First thing I gotta do is cut this heat on. Need to warm up the shop a little bit. Water in the motor. Prime on the oil pump. Crank it up, let it run and get hot. Go through the valves, make sure everything good with them. Y'all stay tuned. Go ahead and put the water in.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Appreciate you guys subscribing to the page to take this journey with us. And the page really been growing. Last month, the month of January, had more growth than we ever had since the page been active. And it really motivates me to keep going, because it does take some time to post these videos and edit these videos, but knowing that somebody's interested in what little old Clutch John is doing, it drives me, pushes me to keep going. Like I said in the last video, we're gonna get to that track soon, but it's a lot of prep work that gotta happen first. So I want y'all to take the whole journey with me, see the prep work and see the race work, and hopefully y'all can see us celebrating in the y'all winner circle a couple times this year also. Check one side, warm it up again, and check the other side. A little above 190. So I'll go ahead and check the driver's side. Alright guys, so what I do, I always like to check out my exhaust first. So I bump it up. I see number one exhaust stop moving. I set it with this cam. I set it on 22. I got my 22 across the board, intake and exhaust. I got my 22 filler gauge. Everybody got a different feel. I like to set mine kind of tight for my feel. So number 1 was good. I'll move on number 3. See, it's a little loose. So I'm gonna put that in my notes. Then I get my tool out. Tighten it up a little bit. Tighten up, have to loosen up that locking nut there. Screw this bolt here down. And I'll take some clearance out of it, tighten it up some. So I'm gonna show y'all this lifter. Show you what can happen. It's actually one of the lifters out of my LS. So what I found, if I got a valve that's constantly needs adjustment, I run bushing lifters instead of bearings, because I found the bushings last longer in here. So this roller right here, this pin that goes through, it has a bushing, a bronze bushing inside of it. And what happens is, if that bronze bushing or that bearing, if you got a bearing in it starts to wear, it'll create more slack in your drivetrain. And by checking your valves often, you can catch that before you have catastrophic failure and wipe a lobe or cause pitting in one of your cam. I actually got a cam that's pitted. I can show it to you guys. But that's the reason why I check my valves all the time, just to make sure, just to try to be on top of any issues with a lifter before it catch me at the track and cause me to miss a race. So this is what I do. A lot of people tell you, a lot of people on checking solid lift cam, valve lash, they go by that EO-IC philosophy. That's exhaust opening, intake closing. So you want to check the intake valve lash when the exhaust is opening. You want to check the exhaust when the intake is closing. The reason I go by that is to ensure that you're not on your ramp when you check. You want to be on your base. But so what I do, I've done them, so I've checked my valves and done it so many times. I really don't go by that method. I just bump the motor over until I see the rock arm stop moving. Bump it over a couple more times. That ensure me that I'm on the flat side. You always want to check your clearance on the flat side. You don't want to check it on your ramp. Or set your clearance on the ramp. You always want to set your clearance on the flat side, or on the flat side of the cam. So that's how I do it. It just helped me run through them a little faster. All right, so this is the old cam that I took out this 632 in the Nova. That I had some lifters go bad on me. You can see here. No, actually correct that. this cam here, this problem came from weak valve springs, not lifters. So let me correct that. But what happened, you can see here, what happens when the valve springs got weak, they allowed the lifter to not follow the profile of the cam crossing over this ramp here, right? So what happened, the lifter was jumping off the cam at the top of the load, heading back down here. So to come across, it wouldn't follow the cam because the spring wasn't strong enough to hold the lift up against the cam. It'll jump off, hit down here. And over time, it fatigued that hard coating that was on that cam, and started to pitting. As you can see, had a couple loads doing that. You see here where it was worse. All right, guys, I ran through the exhaust. All of them was pretty good, but I just adjusted them a little bit to get the same feel on all of them. I don't think I got any parts or anything wearing. Now I'll do the same thing with the intake. Feel pretty good. I got this bump button right here, so I don't have to keep reaching inside the car. This one a little loose. Tighten it up some. So here's a set of old valves, titanium valves, that actually came out the 762 and the 57. The reason I know that, because there's a valve seat. Motor dropped the valve seat one time, messed up a whole bunch of stuff. It cost me about $7,500. But so when the clearance start getting tight every time you check them, you always have to put lash, Most of the time, what be going on, the valves be stretching. The valve stems be getting longer over time, heat cycling, wear and tear on them, and the valves just get longer. And so you got a couple of times to catch that before it actually break a valve, but eventually it's gonna break a valve. So I just keep notes. If I got one valve that I constantly, every time I check the valves, I have to add clearance. I know I got a valve that's scratching on it, and just make a note. Hey, I probably need to put a set of valves in this motor before it break one. All right, so I ran through all the driver's side valves. Temp still up around 180. If I was in a hurry at the track or something, I would just go ahead and adjust the other side. I just, as the motor cooled off, the valves will get a little tighter. So I just set them a little tighter by feel. But since I'm here at the shop, nothing really to do, not in a hurry, I'm gonna warm it, I'll crank it back up and let it run for a little while before I check the other side. Now I'm just looking over everything, making sure I don't have any broken valve springs or anything like that. Let me show y'all some on this LSM tool. It's good for adjusting valves because it got automatic torque built in it to torque all the bolts to what I want them. I just like to go through and check them all. Make sure everything tight. And then I'll like to check my stand bolts too. Make sure all those good. I know they're good because I don't. This is another thing. If I had some out of adjustment, sometimes these bolts right here scratch, and you'll have too much clearance. But with these shaft rockers, you don't have a lot of problems with them. If your clearance does change a lot, you know something else going on with it. You need to check a little deeper. Alright guys, so I got the passenger side done. Like I see, I ran through these a little quicker. But this side I just had one. It was kind of out, that number 8 intake. It was a little loose. So I think the valve's good to go. So I look at all the valve springs and check all my bolts. And so with that, I think everything mechanical wise on the car, it's about done. Got the transmission in it. Decided to stay with the same rear end gears. Do some testing. The motor's ready. Probably gonna crank it up a few more times before I take it to the track, just to spend some quality time with it. But I think the motor's ready. So now I can start working on some of the cosmetic stuff. You see, I got my wheels here. I think I'm gonna make a change. Y'all saw that the YouTube short where I stripped the black paint off of them. I think I'm gonna send those off to get them bead locked and put some chrome wheels on the front versus the black. What y'all think? Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. I want to change the windows and do some other stuff. I need to fix the wheeler, add some braces back to the wheeler bars that I cut out. That need to add those back, but we're gonna keep working until the track open up. We can do some testing.